Hello, and welcome to another episode of Genuine Healing Down Under with your hosts, me, Marvin Schneider, and a very puffy eyed Jen Ward.
That's lousy. Uh, It's so funny how dedicated we are to doing this because the sabotages are incredible in us not doing this. And then this morning I wake up with what feels like a stick in my eye and a pink eye. So we really shouldn't be doing this, but we really want to continue and push through the resistance.
Well, that's our dedication to the people that are looking to genuine healing to help them heal their body, mind, and soul.
I
The
know.
daily, the daily rejuvenations are a pretty cool part of that.
And it's like an oxymoron that I'm like incapacitated right now, but tell them what the rotten thing you said to me.
I suggested that. Well, the first thing is I asked you whether you had put any eyeliner on, and you said no because it's just a little bit challenging in your puffy-eyed situation. And then I suggested you might want to pull your hair or your fringe over your face a little bit.
The whole
And boy,
face, like,
and boy, didn't I cop it?
what does that mean? You got a tongue lashing from that?
Yes, baby, it's a tongue lash.
Yeah, you make me sound like Uncle It or Cousin It from the Munsters or the Adams family, where his
Hmm.
hair is just covered. He's just hair.
Don't think I've
Anyways,
seen that, and I'm going to speculate that I'm not missing much either.
no, not if you got this in front of you, babies. You got it all.
I've got it all. What else does a man need or want? Need and want. Okay, this
Exactly.
is episode number 19 of our daily rejuvenation series. I hope you're following along. If you're new to this, it is part of what we intend to be a daily practice. There is a playlist both on our YouTube channel and on the Genuine Healing website. So have a look at that and follow along from the beginning. Make it part of your daily practice. That's my spiel over.
Absolutely. So today we're gonna share this conscious experience I had years ago before I even went through enlightenment. And I was just this suburban girl massage therapist trying to get by. I had this experience and it was real. It's like happening in the other realms, but it's I'm awake. It's the feeling. It's like you're asleep, but you're awake and you're totally conscious. I was shanghaied. I was a different person. I was shanghaied from Earth, taken to this other planet, which was like a subsidiary, like an in-between planet. And it was ran by the cat people, which is a whole story in itself. But the whole thing there was I was harvested, my soul, my vital organs were harvested from my physical body and inserted into a AI, a cyborg body. And I wasn't the only one. There were billions of individuals who this was happening to. And it was to create a cyber kind of army to fight with the passion of a human, but with the intensity of a machine. But the thing about that experience, which is relevant to today, is in that experience, I could feel my loneliness. I was me. So I could feel the loneliness in that body. And even the inner sounds of like the the energies moving through this metal body were so lonely and isolating. And I missed having a heartbeat. I missed having a breath. And I missed being connected to sensations like touch and whatever. And in that moment, I thought, I wish I could feel pain. Because if I could feel pain right now, I could feel that my own humanity. So it didn't occur to me in that moment, obviously, or for years later, that people who have excruciating pain that they can't find a release for are are feeling that level of isolation from their humanity where the pain is their only connection to their humanity. Now, it sounds really far-fetched from my experience, but no matter what that means to the individual, the taps that we're doing today is to release the pain that's being used as a crutch to connect them to their humanity.
Interesting on multiple levels. So let me just pick that apart a little bit if I can. So at one level, the idea that people seek pain to connect to their humanity just seems really messed up as an idea, but I get the idea. And then secondly, that old Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back, kind of
Yeah.
comes to mind in that whole cyborg experience. And I remember when I first met you about 3 years ago, thereabouts, I was listening to a lot of your private sessions back then. Back in the day, they were audio recording only, pretty low quality. I think what you were doing was you were doing them on Facebook Messenger or phone in those days, and you actually had your iPad sitting next to the speaker and you were recording it that way. So it was
Yeah.
pretty low quality. But in a number of those private sessions, I remember you were sharing the experience of this cyborg experience. Now, back in the day, I was sitting there going, "This chick has lost a few marbles." And I was trying to work out whether this experience was literal. So there's a couple of things. Number one, was it literal? Number two, was it in this universe? And number three, in this timeline. And I'm trying to work out whether this whole cyborg experience is part of the human, the human story. Maybe you can talk to some of those as ideas.
So I struggled with that. And I have struggled with that because it was so real, and it was so valid. But I don't think I've told you what I have come to understand about it.
My sphincter is just tightened up because I
It's
got
it's
no idea what you're about to say.
It should. So what I got from that was that experience that I had that was real was an akashic record of the future, of a
Mm,
possibility, which would have happened unless we do the work that we're doing now. And
mhm,
we are basically still drying up that reality, so it's not a reality for the whole human race. And so
mm.
um
Keep going.
so here's the thing, my eye is it it's excruciating, like it feels like it's bulging pain, right? And
Mhm,
what's interesting in the Arnold Schwarzenegger persona is he had one bionic eye and one human eye. So whenever I do the taps or I talk about this experience, I get this in this eye. It's almost like the bionic eye is like pulsing with pain. And here's the thing, I bet after we do these taps and after, because we're sharing this, I'm actually feeling relief already in just sharing this story.
wow. Let me pick up on what you said just now. So you're saying that there is a very real, valid possibility that this is part of the akashic record of the future, and of course there is no time and space, so everything kind of happens in the moment in a myriad combinations. So there's that as an idea, but
No, it was, but because of the work we are doing,
right.
and it's not going to be.
Right. So there's a couple of interesting ideas in that. One is that the time is not linear, and therefore the future is malleable. And so,
Mhm.
there are infinite possibilities, and the one that you might experience is probably a function of all of the energy that you put out there. So there's that. The other idea is you said that not all humans would experience this. I'm wondering whether some might. So, in other words, whether this is a future or a trajectory that has been averted for some, but not all.
Well, the thing is, I think those who are open, those who hear this story and say, "Holy shit, I resonate with that." it would behest them to be doing the taps with us and stuff because they're being used to shut down the experience for all of humanity. Now, there's a gentleman on the planet and a few of the billionaires who are hell-bent on going out to space and creating life on other planets. The intention on some level is to use up Earth, or not even worry about the organic life on Earth, use it up and then move out into other places. And my sense is the work we're doing to appreciate organic life and to bring humanity back to the individuals is to bypass that horror of that reality and to move those power mongers out of position to do that.
Okay, so here's a call to action. Even for those who think that that's just a nuts idea and just a conspiracy that's just beyond the realms of possibility, and that's all good and well, but there's a simple call to action. Even if you do think that that's a nuts idea, the simple call to action is honor and respect the life that we have on this planet. And it it reminds me about 20 years ago when global warming was starting to become a topic that is heavily discussed. Not that 20 years ago was the first time that global warming as an issue came up as an idea, but it was beginning to be discussed, and there was a lot of naysayers and whatever. And my reaction was simply like this: even if global warming was not a function of man-made, activity on the planet, wouldn't you want to curtail emissions and various other things to preserve the sanctity and the beauty of what we have? And it's a simple idea. And of course, my answer was, well, hell yeah.
Yep.
Now, does that mean that you need to alter the way that you consume voraciously and various other things? Yes, it does. And that's not a bad thing either.
But here's the beauty of what we do. So we put out these strong intentions that are mandating the universe that we release being, gluttonous or whatever. When we do that, it subtly changes the trajectory of how we operate as human beings.
Mm-hmm.
It gently moves us from being the gluttonous, unconscious, consumer to being thoughtful and putting out that intention to do better. I never thought I would be jarring kimchi and preserving and doing all this thing to create, organic life.
What you're doing is you are putting energy, intention, and love into the providence that is being provided, and the providence is the produce.
Well, and the listener must know about your obsession with the lawn. He's obsessed. He goes, "Don't we have the sexiest lawn? Don't we?" And he spends so much time loving this lawn. And when he cuts the grass, this beautiful aroma comes up, and it's the grass loving him back. That's how organic life loves you back. It wafts up its aroma and goes into your nasal passages into your brain and merges with you and gives you the feeling of love. That's how it shows you that it loves you. So what you're doing in taking care of this lawn is taking care of the whole earth. You're a surrogate for all of earth. And that's why I don't begrudge you spending hours a day loving on this planet, because this is amazing. This is all energy work.
Mm. All right. Fascinating conversation. We could just keep the conversation going, and I'm sure the listener would enjoy that as well. Should we, though, do some tapping? Because the title of this episode is Ending Pain, and you've put it in the context of that cyborg experience and the idea that for a lot of people, pain is a crutch to be connected back to humanity.
Yeah.
And as messed up as an idea as that is, we're going to release a lot of that connective muscle memory, if you like.
And another reason I know that is from the time I started doing energy work, is the hardest people to help, and the only demographic that I have difficulty helping are people with fibromyalgia. Because something about the fibromyalgia, something about holding on their pain seems to be a validation for them. So if you tell someone, not everyone, a lot of them are open, but a specific type, if you tell them that you can release their pain, they will attack you and say, you can't, you don't know what I'm going through. And it's true. They use the pain as a form of validation. So they don't want the pain taken away because they don't feel like they will exist beyond the pain.
That is a messed up idea, but I can understand the complex
Yeah,
psychology, even at a simple
absolutely.
psychological level.
But that's how much humans have suffered. And that's what we're addressing every single day. I hope people join us here and share these so other people can get relief. If you know someone who has fibromyalgia or is in suffering and pain in some way, share this video with them. It's that simple.
Baby, in one way or another, 8 billion people on the planet are suffering in pain. It's either physical pain, emotional, psychological trauma, relationship.
Well, and you didn't even mention the Akashic, the pain in their Akashic record. So lots of times people are reliving the trauma of being murdered or tortured in a past lifetime, and there's no medicine on the planet that's going to help with that. What they do need is a private session with me where we can remove those engrams of muscle memory of that. And if they do this daily rejuvenation enough, they'll learn how to do it for themselves. Remove the
And
engrams of muscle memory.
all right. And while we're here, and just before we do get into the tapping part of this episode, I should make mention that in just a few days' time, so you really don't have a lot of time to register, we are running our groundbreaking event. It's called Jumpstart Your Shadow Work. And it's a follow-on to a session or an event that we had last week. We're going to have regular series of online events. You're not going to want to miss this one. If you miss it, if you're listening to this and you somehow decide not to participate, I think that would be a real shame, because these are powerful, powerful events. I've seen, being part of many kind of healing and spiritual retreats and events. I've never seen anything like what just using last weekend's event as a gauge. I've never seen anything as powerful as that out there. So,
and you know why we call it jumpstarting your shadow work? You know why we use that buzzword shadow work? Because that's another word that the spiritual elitists use to differentiate from what they're doing. Like, well, oh, I'm doing shadow work. And so it leaves those individuals who don't know what shadow work does as feeling helpless or out of the loop. So we're doing the work for all those who don't know what shadow work is. We're taking the mystique out of it and just allowing everyone to participate in something very easily.
all right. Time is ticking. We do intend to keep these daily rejuvenations fairly short for the most part. This one's going to be a little bit longer. Shall we get into the tapping part of it?
Absolutely.
Would you like me to explain how this all goes down?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jen. You will be providing for us, or facilitating for us, a group of SFT taps. They are powerful statements to the universe. I will be repeating them on behalf of you, the listener. You're going to be following along with me as I do it. We're going to repeat the statement 3 times while continuously tapping on the top of the head, a 4th time while continuously tapping on the chest, and a 5th time while continuously tapping on the abdomen. Nice and easy. Don't have to overthink it. It's not that complicated.
First one, we release using pain to validate our existence in our moments.
We release using pain to validate our existence in all moments. We release using pain to validate our existence in all moments. We release using pain to validate our existence in all moments. We release using pain to validate our existence in all moments. We release using pain to validate our existence in all moments.
We release using pain as an excuse in our moments.
We release using pain as an excuse in all moments. We release using pain as an excuse in all moments. We release using pain as an excuse in all moments. We release using pain as an excuse in all moments. We release using pain as an excuse in all moments.
Now, here's where people are going to get something they don't get physically. We release the overstimulation of our pain receptors in all moments.
We release the overstimulation of our pain receptors in all moments. We release this overstimulation of our pain receptors in all moments. We release the overstimulation of our pain receptors in all moments. We release the overstimulation of our pain receptors in all moments. We release the overstimulation of our pain receptors in all moments.
We free all of our pain receptors from the frenzy in all moments.
We free all of our pain receptors from the frenzy in all moments. We free all of our pain receptors from the frenzy in all moments. We free all of our pain receptors from the frenzy in all moments. We free all of our pain receptors from the frenzy in all moments. We free all of our pain receptors from the frenzy in all moments.
We release all agitation and frustration from our pain receptors in all moments.
We release all agitation and frustration from our pain receptors in all moments. We release all agitation and frustration from our pain receptors in all moments. We release all agitation and frustration from our pain receptors in all moments. We release all agitation and frustration from our pain receptors in all moments. We release all agitation and frustration from our pain receptors in all moments.
We extract all the trauma stored in our pain receptors in all moments.
We extract all the trauma stored in our pain receptors in all moments. We extract all the trauma stored in our pain receptors in all moments. We extract all the trauma stored in our pain receptors in all moments. We extract all the trauma stored in our pain receptors in all moments. We extract all the trauma stored in our pain receptors in all moments.
We calm the unrest of all our pain receptors in all moments.
We calm the unrest of all our pain receptors in all moments. We calm the unrest of all our pain receptors in all moments. We calm the unrest of all of our pain receptors in all moments. We calm the unrest of all our pain receptors in all moments. We calm the unrest of all our pain receptors in all moments.
We remove all engrams and muscle memory that agitate our pain receptors in all moments.
We remove all engrams and muscle memory that agitate our pain receptors in all moments. We remove all engrams and muscle memory that agitate our pain receptors in all moments. We remove all engrams and muscle memory that agitate our pain receptors in all moments. We remove all engrams and muscle memory that agitate our pain receptors in all moments. We remove all engrams and muscle memory that agitate our pain receptors in all moments.
We remove all the stimuli that triggers our pain receptors in all moments.
We remove all the stimuli that trigger our pain receptors in all moments. We remove all the stimuli that trigger our pain receptors in all moments. We remove all the stimuli that trigger our pain receptors in all moments. We remove all the stimuli that trigger our pain receptors in all moments. We remove all stimuli that trigger our pain receptors in all moments.
We remove all blockages to all our pain receptors being calmed in all moments.
We remove all blockages to all our pain receptors being calmed in all moments. We remove all blockages to all our pain receptors being calmed in all moments. We remove all blockages to all our pain receptors being calmed in all moments. We remove all blockages to all our pain receptors being calmed in all moments. We remove all blockages to all our pain receptors being calmed in all moments.
All of our pain receptors are healed, repaired, validated, and calmed in all moments.
All of our pain receptors are healed, repaired, validated, and calmed in all moments. All of our pain receptors are healed, repaired, validated, and calmed in all moments. All of our pain receptors are healed, repaired, validated, and calmed in all moments. All of our pain receptors are healed, repaired, validated, and calmed in all moments. All of our pain receptors are healed, repaired, validated, and calmed in all moments.
We are safe and protected in our organic body in all moments.
We are safe and protected in our organic body in all moments. We are safe and protected in our organic body in all moments. We are safe and protected in our organic body in all moments. We are safe and protected in our organic body in all moments. We are safe and protected in our organic body in all moments.
Take a deep breath. I'm going to give, as we were doing that, I was getting a visual to help the listener even more so. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I want them to imagine a nerve branch going through their body, especially in a part of the body that's in pain, and go down into a micro. This is part of medical intuitive. Go down into the microscopic image of it and see all these little hairs branching off. So at the end of these hairs, it should just be tapered off to a nub. But in yours, where there's pain, there's a little bulbous infected part at the tip, almost like a hangnail is like really sensitive and tender, and that's what your nerve is feeling. So I want you to go in as you see this with your intention. Take your fingers and pinch each one, almost like when you're another visual, like when you're putting out a candle and you just do that and you cinch it closed. So I want you to take your two fingers. You don't have to do that, but imagine pinching each little dendrite and tapering it off and feel that pinch and feel that relief. And do that all through your body as you're doing that, and see if you don't feel better with that visualization, the taps, and this new understanding.
Wow, babies, this episode is packed full of insight and practical techniques, including the SFT tapping.
Absolutely. And so many people are suffering. We're doing everything we can to help them. They just need to meet us halfway.
Which means like, share, subscribe, help us get the message out there. There's so much healing that needs to be done, and that's what we're here to do.
Yes, and there is something to, it's one thing to do the tips to help yourself, and then that seems to be a dead end for everyone. Okay, I help myself, that's it. But when you pass this healing through and share it with others, you're no longer this dead end of a circuit. You're actually becoming a conduit for other people's healings. And that's how you open up to healing in a broader flow of it. Just saying.
Nice visualization. Thank you, Jen. Thanks to the listeners for joining in. Please like, share, subscribe, comment if you're inclined. Thanks for participating with us. Look forward to catching you next time, and bye for now.